The downfall of YouTube.
And I know what you're thinking. No, we're not discussing the whole Gideon topic or Corey Kenshin calling YouTube racist and favoritism, although such things might exist, but that's not really my capability to discuss such things given, you know, my complexion, right? And honestly, with such things on YouTube, I feel like a lot of people just jump on the bandwagon because it is a trending topic, and thus they know it'll get views. I'm not talking about the people who brought up the issues, but everybody, all the woke mob and whatnot, and I'm gonna get canceled for this. I really don't care, and that's kind of the whole point of this video. Just, I know a lot of times white people jump on these sort of things to say like, hey, I'm not racist, when in all reality, you don't gotta say you're not racist to be not racist. But that's for another day. And also, I just want to say, I don't think YouTube is going to die as a platform. It's one of the biggest websites along with TikTok and Google. It's just not going to die. However, what I'm talking about is just the content of YouTube, and that I think it's becoming a Netflix or cable television of sorts, and it's completely gone against everything that it was built on top of. I just watched this one video called MrBeastification by a dude named Pinely, and I think he hit the nail on the head in that YouTube has just become a whole bunch of Mr. Beasts and documentary creators, and nothing against everybody, because again, I'm not innocent either. I've tried to jump on this bandwagon as well, but I've just realized eventually that I fucking hate it. I got on YouTube to get on here and talk shit and talk about things that I care about, talk about my own experiences, not research a whole nother person's life or try to expend an exorbitant amount of money, millions per video, just to play some sort of game. Nah, I'm 26 years old. I do not give one fuck. But props to all the people who can do that, because they have turned to algorithmic gods at this point and just get millions and millions of views. And by the way, this whole video isn't about the creators necessarily, but as a viewer, I just can't find anything to watch. And everything I do watch actually comes from different platforms that are just re-uploaded onto YouTube, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But what this Pinely guy thoroughly discussed in a 40-minute video, mind you, usually I don't have the attention span for that, but for this specific topic, I watched the whole 40-minute video, even got my mom, my sister, my girl, told them to watch it even though they didn't care. But regardless, he just reacted to a lot of Mr. Beast lookalikes, which is pretty much every single creator now. And again, I told y'all I'm not innocent either. I've tried, but obviously failed because I just can't fake things. I'm not an actor. I didn't go to theater school. I simply cannot act excited when I'm not excited. Like, oh, we're gonna give $1 million to this homeless person if they can jump through this hoop into the water and drink salt water, meanwhile fly. And you get what I'm saying. Endless challenges, gamification. What does that sound like? Cable television. And y'all brought it to the platform that this is supposed to be YouTube. The whole platform was based off amateur style videos, which I'm okay with building up the production just a little bit, but I follow creators for the creator. I don't give a fuck about these games. I don't give a fuck about like necessarily the information that they give me. I want a sort of friend. That sounds so sad, but you get the point. I like to watch creators I think are cool, and that's completely deteriorated with these Mr. Beast style videos because of all of the massive production that goes into it. There's no flavor, there's no personality. In fact, you can't put that much personality behind it because it's just not marketable or it's too controversial. We just saw what happened to Andrew Tate, regardless if you like him or not. It's just more widely appealing to be a fucking robot. I swear to God, YouTube has turned into like Disney Channel. And it makes sense because YouTube is the more widely accessible application nowadays, with cable just dying out. It's not like the internet per se. So Disney Channel and its viewers have kind of moved towards YouTube. And I also want to make the distinction that you can still do cool things on camera and put money into it and whatever. It's just, I don't like how the production has taken completely over the actual personality. And at a certain level, The reason I did not want to watch TV with all of these game shows like American Idol or America's I don't even know what they are because I just don't watch them. The reason I left is because it's so stupid. It's literally brain dead content. Like, what do you get out of this sort of content after it's done? Same thing with like an hour-long research topical video. Once you get past like the first couple of layers, there's literally no point. Like, you know those little kids who just randomly know every single fact about a certain type of bug that you came across? And you're like, dude, I do not give a fuck. That's basically what all these videos on YouTube are. It's like in one ear, out the other. And it's very useless information. But my issue with it is that it's become more of a game of how to get the most watch time and clicks and whatever. And I get it, like we all need our money, but at a certain point, it loses its artistry, or not even artistry, but just human element. People are literally just farming watch time by making sure that there's, you know, a quick edit every single second to a new scene, a new angle. Meanwhile, again, my favorite creators are streamers or podcasters who started creating because they had some sort of message or they just wanted to talk to real people in real time. And there's only one take for those type of things. You can't fake it till you make it, because when you're live, you really only got one shot to do something. You can't just like take multiple cuts like an actor, where the director behind the scenes can tell you, oh, you said this word in a different way. It's going to be interpreted as such. You need to say it like this because that's going to get more viewers. That's literally how YouTube is nowadays. For a lot of these big YouTubers, and I know there are exceptions to the rule, but a lot of these like gamified YouTube channels, do you really even know who they are? Do you know what they're like? Because realistically, I don't think you do. They just scream on a microphone. They never really give any of their opinions because it may be seen as controversial and you might not like them afterwards. Or maybe they just don't hold any strong opinions because they're losers in real life. I personally just cannot watch that. Never watched a MrBeast video in full ever in my life. I come to see people to hear their thoughts, the real authentic them. I don't care about like the little quick edits. I'm even fine if there's like a 5-second period where they just don't even say a word. Shit, sometimes you need to breathe to understand what is going on, right? To collect your own thoughts after that person just said something that was impactful. But the main premise is I watch these people because they are in fact people, not robots. A lot of these videos that are going viral nowadays are simply going viral because of all the money and time that went behind it, which makes sense. I get it. But isn't that how like a Netflix series should go? But like, again, with the whole original objective of YouTube, a creator is almost like your friend that's not really your friend. The internet was created to connect people all across the planet that otherwise would not have met each other. So with a lot of these gamified YouTube creators, would you be friends with them in real life? Please answer that question for any of the people that you watch. And if the answer is I don't know, that's basically a no as well, because you just don't know who they are. And if the answer is yes, I have a follow-up question. Would it truly be a deep relationship and friendship, not just a superficial, because you're really being friends with them for what they have done, not necessarily who they are? A lot of people want to be friends with celebrities because they made this song or they made this video. That's not a real friendship. That's basically gold digging. But anyway, there is pros and cons to this new onset of meta videos on YouTube, I guess. There's a reason that long form content as well as live streaming cultivates the strongest audience or fan base. It's because you actually get to know who they are. Sure, you may watch somebody's video who gets millions and millions of views, but are you truly a fan of them? And this phenomenon has only been exacerbated by the other applications such as like TikTok, mostly TikTok, but it has also bled to YouTube with YouTube Shorts, Instagram, but that happened a long time ago. Twitter, I actually like because that is a human being there and they give you their thoughts, which is a little bit more of a connection than just viral 15-second videos that in a matter of like, say, a year, when your run is over with content, a lot of these TikTok people will just be irrelevant. And this isn't just a detriment to the creators. it's also for the viewers. And that I think that there's been a concept lately that we all look back towards 2016 and earlier, not just in the music scene, because this is really before social media took off, wherein we live practically our entire lives on our phone or on the computer. You ever wonder why, you know, just things don't feel as good as they once did? Life has become a lot more complicated. It's because we're overstimulated. These apps have quite literally engineered their algorithms to addict us to their platform, making the main goal to increase watch time that we discussed earlier about YouTube, so that you watch more ads and therefore increase their revenue and bottom line. So my question to you is, does that necessarily mean that it's the best content just because it keeps you on the platform the longest? Just like a drug, just because you're doing heroin for 2-3 weeks straight because you're addicted, does that mean that you were having a good time the entire time? No. There's actually a theory that within the 2010s and 2020s, sure, we had COVID, but other than that, will we truly have any memories to look back to because we've been spending so much of our lives on our phone? And again, I'm right there with y'all, because it seemed as though everything great happened a long time ago, like the best Call of Duties or the best parties. Now people literally do things just so they can get a picture of it so they can post it online, because that is fun. Not the actual fun part, but showing other people that you had fun. Everything has become like a status game or just a never-ending cycle of you have to continually produce, because otherwise you'll go irrelevant. And that's not just for people too, that's for businesses and companies. So that's why, you know, the iPhone comes out with another phone every year. Call of Duty comes out with a new Call of Duty every single year. Madden, 2K, and it just habitually seems to get worse, even though the features technically are getting better. Everything has just become an advertisement or a bidding war for the consumer's attention. And by the way, I know that this is like a music channel. That's one of my main interests. So this does relate to that, in that we've spoken quite recently, like why music nowadays has become, you know, kind of dead. Everybody's biting the most popular artists and somehow getting views. TikTok has taken over the music industry, but a lot of these artists don't necessarily last because they get one song and then they can't catch another trending song on the app, and you just have to make jingles in all reality rather than unique and impactful music. There just lacks originality. It's all about, again, playing towards the algorithm rather than just connecting with other human beings. And we've seen this with a lot of the underground music, a lot of people rapping on Cardi beats, Yeet beats, etc., etc. Why? Because quite frankly, people are listening to it. The songs get recommended because it's almost more effort to make something new and attract an audience for it than to just give the people more of what they already want. And the algorithms push this narrative as well to the extreme. And so that's why it's actually a successful marketing scheme to bite an artist or sound very similar to an already popular artist and then branch out from that sound eventually after you already took or attracted some of their fans, not necessarily taken away from them, but they are fans of both. Sounds a lot like the MrBeastification of YouTube, huh? But just in music. And also, I was talking to somebody else about it. The barrier to entry for all of these sites is just so low now. Anybody with an iPhone, people are recording music on BandLab, and it actually sounds pretty good with all the softwares that we have to, you know, noise suppress and then auto-tune. People can produce on a computer without even knowing anything about music theory or even knowing how to play any sort of instrument. It's eliminated, again, the art of music, the art of making videos, the art of just the human personality. But something pretty scary about it all is that it's not necessarily the algorithm's fault, which I've made it seem like throughout this whole video, but the algorithm only gives the people what they want. It reads all the data from us, which essentially says that we as humans are the real issue. So is it really the downfall of YouTube? Probably just the downfall of humans in general. The internet is ruining us, but also there are probably pros and cons. The reason I was thinking this is because I myself have attempted to like appease the algorithm gods, but eventually I just came to the conclusion I'm not going viral, not really a viral guy. I just like to get on here and say my piece, and that's okay. At least I'm not going to act like something that I'm not, which has been something that I've been struggling with a lot lately because I feel like the whole point of these social media platforms is like grow. Well, is it better to grow and be something that you're not, or just stick to who you truly are and do what you want to do rather than what the views say? But with all that being said, it's been your boy Bobbalam signing off, praying on all of your downfalls. Of course, let me know in the comments what you think about all this. Am I tripping? Or has anybody else been thinking this same exact thing and been attracted to streamers as creators rather than a lot of this just Bolshevik? And don't forget to like and subscribe to join the Bob Gang if you witty. Peace out, club people. No, see.